We are live. Good morning. It is 10 o'clock on the East Coast, 8 o'clock if you're in Idaho. And Boogie with the Bull Friday Morning Caffeine is live on a device somewhere near you. With us today, Jenn Muckler has joined, and Bill Muckler, our friend from the Bill Muckler Show, the 2020 books. And I hear a new broadcast coming live with my baseball bat, but more information from that later. Bill's going to also talk to us about Red Friday. Remember, everyone deployed. So, Mr. Muckler, the floor is yours.
Okay. I start off every Friday by asking everyone to remember everyone deployed, Red Friday, remembering all of our young men and women who are deployed overseas someplace. But I've added to that, and this is just me, my unofficial tribute is to remember and think about every one of our servicemen and women, because they're only minutes or hours away from being on an airplane and being deployed someplace in harm's way. So I really am happy to ask everybody to, hey, think about and honor these young men and women, and I'm just so glad that we still have young men and women who are willing to serve our country. I don't know what we'd do without them. So anyway, as far as Red Friday is concerned, I think everybody knows how I feel about that. Dave, you mentioned something before the show when we were in the green room. I guess, do you have a green room? That's where we were.
We do. Yeah. Actually, today it was a red room.
It was a red room. Squatters. I can't believe this is happening in America today. And it gets to an issue that I'm really passionate about. And let me just give a very brief history. Back in June of 1776, the Virginia legislature was working and meeting, and they were writing the Declaration of Independence for the colony of Virginia. And now, going back to that time, there was no United States of America. There were 13 individual colonies. There was talk about it, and there was like a confederation of states and so forth. But each colony, they weren't states, were pretty much on their own. And when they wrote their Declaration of Independence, part of that, and I'll just kind of paraphrase, was the pursuit of life, liberty, and ownership of property. A young lawyer, 33-year lawyer, that was part of that group that wrote that Declaration of Independence for the Virginia Commonwealth or colony, whatever they were, was Thomas Jefferson. And then he proceeded to lead the writing of the Declaration of Independence for what we now know as the United States of America. These United States of America is the way it was started off. And if he had modern day technology, our Declaration of Independence for the United States would almost be like a cut and paste or a copy and paste of the Virginia document, because they were influenced by that. It was an excellent document. George Mason was quite a patriot, led this whole endeavor. Right. So it became the pursuit of life, liberty, and happiness. Okay. But the one thing that America is really based on is ownership. We have the ability to own property, own transportation, clothes, furniture, whatever. We can actually own things. It's a lot different from a lot of countries where the government owns everything, or there's no right for ownership or whatever. Well, what's happening today is the government is slowly taking our rights of ownership away from us. And one of the examples I'll use, and this is not our federal government, these are the state governments, is these laws on, I guess you might say, tenant laws, or lease laws, or lease the lessors and lessees and so forth. A lot of these laws have been written to protect the tenants.
Right.
Well, now what they're doing is they're bending these laws and using these laws to say, if somebody comes into a home and lives in that home illegally, they have every right to live in that house. And these laws need to be changed because they're really archaic and they don't really fit the situation that we have in America today. So we've got an epidemic in America today of squatters taking over property that's owned lawfully by people who have gone through the entire process of paying money for their homes, have signed the contracts, they've got their deeds. Most people, have mortgages. And yet, if you go on vacation, or in the state of Florida, we're kind of in a little bit different situation where we have a lot of people who live here half the year during the winter, and then they go back home, go north someplace in the summer. Someone can come in their house. They can live there. They can change the locks. They can do whatever they want to do. They can tear it up. They can rip it up. They can do whatever they want. And when the lawful owners come back, they are not allowed to go into their own home. They cannot do that. And then they have to go through a legal process that can last months and even years. There's an example of one lady in New York who has been fighting this for 6 years to get somebody out of there, to evict somebody, get into these eviction laws. Apparently, in this particular case, someone she rented the home to didn't pay the rent, evicted, they served eviction notice on, the person said they would not leave, and now they're fighting it in the courts. But in the squatters that we're mostly talking about, what's happening here is they know the laws, and you know what they say? It's our right because we're following the law. It's our right to live here in this property, in this home. And why is it your right? Because we're following the law. And they twist these laws to the point where they can get away with this. So if you own a home and you go on vacation for a couple of weeks, these people know what's going on. They actually are scouting out these homes. They know what's going on. But now here's the deal. I've been talking for months about all these invaders that are coming across our border. Where are they going to live? Well, they say, well, they're living on the streets. And I started thinking about it. I said, no, they're not really living in the streets. What they are is they go into luxury hotels for 30 days, and then they have to go out and they actually live on the sidewalks. They live on the sidewalks of all these major cities, major urban areas, or they live in the police stations. They live in the airports. They got to have some place to live. So now they've figured out, hey, we can squat in a home. We don't have to live on the sidewalk in a tent or in a cardboard box. We can go live in somebody's home and we can get away with it. So listen, they are well versed in these laws. Now they ain't too well versed in following the laws, the criminal laws or anything like that. When it comes to landlord tenant laws, they know this stuff pretty darn well. So now they're doing this. So now we know what's happening. So we've got people who are just scam artists. We've got homeless people, and we've got invaders coming across our border, now finding places to live in other people's homes, and there's no way to get rid of them. Now, I mentioned that kind of tongue in cheek that, and I don't think I would actually do this, but I said, if I found out there was a squatter in my house, I would go to Walmart, buy a baseball bat, and I'd come back and take care of it. So I talked to my son about this on the phone last night. He lives in Denver. He said, Dad, you don't have to worry about that. He said, if somebody moves in your place, just move down to the Holiday Inn Express down the road if there's still any room in there, because there might be a lot of people are in there, because of the squatters. He said, and I'll get the next plane down there and I'll take care of it. Well, he's 6'3" and 250 and an Air Force Special Ops guy. He can handle himself. And he said, you don't have to worry about anything. They'll be gone and they'll never want to come back. So the thing of it is, they got protection of the police departments and the sheriffs to protect them living in a home. But I don't understand why, and I guess I do understand why. Most people are not going to be aggressive. They're not going to be confrontational. If this happens, they're just going to go away and try and hire a lawyer. It gets back to lawyers, right? The attorney industrial complex now is, okay, now we're making a lot of money. And we actually have landlord tenant courts. So these cases even you have to go to a lawyer that specializes in this, and then they go to a court that specializes in taking care of this type of thing. And some of the backlogs are as much in various states are as much as 6 months to a year backlog, up to several years backlog. So what do? Do you live in the Holiday Inn Express for 2 years? That gets pretty expensive while you're paying your mortgage and utilities and everything else. And guess what? If you turn off your utilities, you go to jail. You go to jail. That's the law. You cannot turn off the utilities if a squatter is living in your presence.
Well, you live in a gated community, I'm sure,
yeah.
Bill, and you have an HOA, and everyone knows that that's one step above hell as far as dealing with HOAs, at least my personal experience. You think when the HOA starts sending these squatters all kinds of fines that they're going to pack up they probably won't pack up and move because you pay the fines because you own the condo.
There's no recourse on this. They don't have to do anything. They don't have to pay anything. And Dave, I got to tell you, when I was living in the Cape Canaveral area, I was living on the Atlantic coast, Cocoa Beach, Cape Canaveral, Brevard County area, whatever. And I was looking for a place to live. I was looking for some place that would be a little bit more reasonable. I wanted it to be more economical. I wanted to make sure that I had enough money that I would not end up living under the bridge if I outlived my money. And so I looked all over Florida because I've really been in Florida since about 1953, off and on. I know the state well. I had a condo in Marco Island. I kind of regret that I ever sold that way back in the 80s. But and I've got relatives all over the state, so I really know the area well. And I thought, I really like this idea of moving into like the middle of the state. And so what I found out was, boy, in Sebring, the prices are like half of what they are on the coast for real estate. So I started looking at Zillow. Anybody familiar with Zillow?
Right.
That's what you do now. If you want to move, you go to Zillow. There's other sites too that I looked at, but I just love to say Zillow. It's a funny word. So anyway, I find this some condos over here in Sebring. I make arrangements with a real estate agent. I come over. And the last thing, Dave, I ever want to do is live in a gated community, a 55 plus community with all these old people and with an HOA, because I just abhor the HOAs. So now here I am. I find this place, and I got to tell you, it's like half of what the real estate is, like half of what it is on the coast. And they said, well, it's 55 plus. Okay, I'm 55 plus. Now I'm one. I think I'm one of the oldest people here, and I don't want to live with the old people who are in their 60s and 70s. And I'm going to be 89. So here I am. I'm over here in a gated community. Never wanted to be in a gated community. They say, no children, no pets. And I'm thinking, damn, in the place I was living before, this apartment complex, people used to get on the elevators, and they'd have their grandkids come, and they'd be puddles of water from their wet swimming suits in the elevator, or their dogs have pooped or peed in the elevator or whatever. And I thought, none of that. That's a good deal. So anyway, the hook on the place I bought was the lady who owned it, and this was in the middle of COVID time, 2020. So everything is just completely upside down. Lives up in New York, has the place as a rental, but can't rent it because nobody's interested in renting. Nobody can go anyplace. COVID-19 restrictions, all the rest of that stuff. So I get this place. The hook is all you need is your clothes and your toothbrush. You move in, and everything is here, completely furnished. I mean, they've got spare light bulbs and paper towels. They've got anything you can imagine to be in a full rental unit is in this place. And I'm thinking, damn, this is for me. All I have to do is pack up my clothes and move in. I saw a condo that I owned over there. Got a tremendous price on it. Got a tremendous price on the one here. So here I am. And I hope that nobody's going to come in here and try and take it away from me because, hey, it's mine. And this gets back to ownership again. Do we have the right to own our own property? Well, according to a lot of laws have been written, and I think they've been written, to favor certain groups, like tenants. Our right of ownership can be taken away. Now, let me tell you who else is going to get evicted. And this is really a big one, and it's in the news all over, and I haven't done a show on it yet, but Donald Trump is getting evicted. He has to come up with $455 million bond, or he gets evicted from his places in New York City. And but it's not that there's going to be squatters; they're actually going to take it away from him. And there's such a thing as the Eighth Amendment about excessive bails. They're not honoring that in New York. This whole thing is just I'm not really sure how. I'd better watch my language. But this Letitia James, the Attorney General, she ran her election campaign on the fact that she was going to get Trump. And once she got in, she'd find a crime that she could get Trump on. So they actually wrote one in the books and made one up so they could get Trump. Well, people say, boy, if they can do that to Trump, they can do that to anybody. Well, that's really that's not a good argument because they can't do that to anybody. They can't do that to any of the three of us because we don't have properties that are worth $500 million or $1 billion. So nobody's going to come after us to do that. But it is going to damage the perception that New York is really a good place to live because eventually a lot of people are going to start thinking, wait a minute, this doesn't seem very friendly. And it really makes America look bad, both inside and out.
Jenn, you got questions for Bill? Comments?
Yeah. First of all, what Letitia James is doing, and since it's all focused on Trump and he's a candidate, isn't it election interference? Couldn't you count it that? Or is it just from us on the outside looking in? Because it's so obvious. 91 indictments. Charles Manson only had 10. This poor guy, Donald Trump. And what could you do? They've changed the laws. Right is wrong, wrong is right.
Yeah.
Can
That's yeah, and sadly that's where we are. And yeah, it is election interference, but here's the thing. The judge in this case, this Angeron, he already made his decision that Trump was guilty before the trial ever started. The trial was only about how much are we going to fine him. And and there's no victims, no damages, and yet finding somebody $350 million and then going back for I don't know how many years and charging interest on it to get it up to $455 million. I mean, the whole thing is just a setup. But the people in New York voted for Letitia James. That's what they want. They want this. They want to get Trump because they are Marxists who want to make sure that anybody that owns anything, we're going to take it away from them. And let me give you a good example of that, because today, Bernie Sanders and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez just have introduced a bill to limit the amount of rent a landlord can charge. And they say they are more qualified to set the rents than the people who actually own the homes. This is Marxism, pure and simple. This is exactly what this is. And this is what they're going for now. Are they going to get that? No, it ain't going to happen now. But they're planting the seed, and 5 years from now, 10 years from now, pretty soon, it'll be the government will be controlling the rents across the country, and will say this is how much you can charge, in which case the landlords, the owners, they won't be able to afford to keep a place because they have a mortgage payment, they have the taxes, and they have all the upkeep and everything like that. So the government, like Letitia James is doing, is going to be taking over properties. To pretty soon, the government will own everything. And going back to June of 1776, where we were talking about the right to own property, that's being taken away from us. So all this kind of fits together. You start taking all the pieces of these puzzles and you start putting them all together, and you get to the point of this is exactly what the Marxists in America want today. They want to own all the property. They want to set the rents. A week ago, Bernie Sanders came out with this deal about how people would now work 32 hours but still get paid 40 hours, which means companies would have to go out of business, and the government can take them over. So it's the first steps of the government taking ownership of America away from the citizens. And when they do that, they can start taking our bank accounts away from us. You guys have heard about it. They've already talked about that, right? About how they want to do that and how they want to charge so much for each transaction that you make with your bank. This is what Marxism is all about. So that's really what's on the election for on November 5th. And Jenn, when you're talking about election interference, yep, if they can get Trump and defeat Trump, they can go ahead with their Marxist takeover of America. If Trump gets elected, that's going to slow him down quite a bit. So yeah. Is it election interference? You bet it is. But in New York, they get 90. The Democrats get 90% of the votes. That's what the people in New York want.
Wow. Okay, I had another question. You brought up Schumer. What right or why in the world does Schumer, Biden, or anybody in America or anywhere, but basically here, especially in DC, what right do they have to tell Israel that they to try to come up with a ceasefire or a two-state solution? It's not our problem. Why? Why do we do this? Is it just to take our money? Is that how we got involved with Argentina? Or no, my God, sorry. Where are we? The Crane. Sorry, Ukraine. Woo, the Ukraine. Why? Why do we do this? All in the name of democracy? Is that what they're selling us? I feel like it's just a way to get our money, but I hate that they're throwing Israel under the bus by trying to do this ceasefire. What the heck?
Schumer Schumer made that speech for one reason. He's trying to stop the bleeding that the Democrat Party is having by having all of the Palestinians and Palestinian supporters against they're protesting against the Democrat Party, against Biden. And they're afraid that that's their big voting bloc. They're afraid this voting bloc is going to leave them. Maybe they won't vote for Trump. Maybe they just won't vote at all, which would really be damaging to them. So they're trying to stop the bleeding. And so what they're doing is they're coming out with this. They know that they're wrong. They know that what they're saying that makes no sense. They know that it's not going to happen. But it's a way to appease their voting bloc, which they're afraid is leaving them in droves.
Wow.
That's all it's all about. It's nothing. It just gets back down to kind of the greed. It's not greed for money. It's greed for power and votes.
Wow. Wow. And what were you going to say about little Haiti down in Florida? It's like very close to you. That's scary. Well, it's in the same state. Wow. I'm so thankful that your governor is sending or calling National Guard and everybody in the country is sending National Guard somewhere besides just protecting their own state. We have people down with Abbott protecting the Texas border. And what's going to happen at little Haiti?
Well, Florida is now a border state.
Yeah.
Texas is a border state with Mexico that's separated mostly by the Rio Grande River, which is not very wide and not very deep. The only difference between Texas and Mexico and Florida and Haiti is there's more water and it's deeper. So you can't wade across it. You need to get in a boat to come across. But they want to come from Haiti to here. But the people that are going to come here from Haiti are the people that they're letting out of prisons and mental institutions because they can't keep them. So they got to get rid of them. So they're going to send them here. They send them here on boats that hold like maybe 50 or 60 people, 250 people in a boat. And so our Coast Guard has to go out and rescue them because that's a humanitarian thing to do. DeSantis has the Fish and Wildlife Service, by the way, interdicting boats, and he just stopped one that had 25 fully combat armed and dressed Haitians in it with weapons, night vision capabilities, and stop them from coming ashore in Florida. Hey, we got a lot of shoreline. We got thousands and thousands of miles of shores, and it's not all populated. It's not all patrolled or anything like that. You can come across any place in here. In my new book, by the way, my novel, Six Soft Targets, it's about terrorists coming into America, and there's actually 2 terrorists come in on a boat into the Atlantic coast and get into Florida that way. So, and there's some of them come in various ways. I I kind of gave him the blueprint of how to do this. maybe
Bill Muckler,
Bill,
Bill Muckler, that was a terrible thing to do. But I understand that you gave them the blueprint so that you could introduce them to the Bill Muckler baseball bat. I never want to cut you off, Bill. I wish we could have you on hours and hours and hours. It's 10:30. I don't want to make it late for your broadcast, but
I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do my show. I'm just going to say what I said so far today because I guess, I don't know. I think it needs to be said.
Yes.
It does. It does.
Hey, thanks a lot. Hey, it's so good seeing you guys. Hope
Always
you have
a
a
pleasure,
great
Bill.
weekend. God bless you and your loved ones.
You too.
Always a pleasure.
Thank
You
you.
too, Bill. And the Bill Muckler Show is in the Bill Muckler Show group and on the Bill Muckler Show profile. If you search the web, you can go to nextgen.com and find him there as well. And before he goes, I got to do this or else I don't get paid today. 2020, a clear vision for America. 2020, a clear vision for our future. Go to 2020americabook.com. That's 2020americabook.com. $25 for the set. You cannot buy 2 hardbound books in America for $25. But you need to read the information.
And I, on top of that, I even sign them. And I'm working on my cursive. My cursive is getting pretty good because I think maybe I may want to be able to write cursive as code because there's a lot of people that won't know how to read it.
That's funny.
All right, Bill. Always a pleasure. Have a successful show. We will see you during the week.
Bye.
And he is welcome back. He's welcome back anytime he wants to come on any of our broadcasts. And
right.
What else is on the table, Jen? Because the only other thing I had that I brought was that as far as the Lord's Prayer goes on Facebook, if you post it in the news feed, they put that violent and graphic censor on it. So my post today was everybody on Facebook, when you see that, should post it. Should share it. Just keep sharing it and keep sharing it and keep sharing it and keep sharing it and keep sharing it.
Right.
But,
one of my friends, one of my good mom friends from a homeschooling group had a post and it said it was highly offensive, graphic material. And they put like this, the blank over it, but you have to click on it to see the picture. And I was like, what is Sally doing now? So I clicked on it and I'm like, oh, come on. It was a scripture verse about Jesus knows, the lambs know his voice. And so you click on it and there's all these little lambs. And I'm like, Sally, you done it now. It was just so funny. It was like stupid. It's crazy what they're censoring. But I wanted to bring up the state of confusion. It's the State of the Union that Biden, did last week. I can't even count last week. Anyhow, he used so many euphemisms. What it is, it's a word that you use to replace another word that sounds way too violent, scary, or graphic. And so it was crazy. He got caught in his own trap. It was ridiculous. Well, he's previously called who we call the invaders or immigrants or illegal aliens. He called them illegals, an illegal. And he was trying to he got caught by Marjorie Taylor Greene to say the name of that girl, that young woman who was murdered by an illegal alien. Well, he said, it wasn't Lincoln, it was Laken Riley. And he says, so she was murdered by an illegal. And then I cringed. Everyone did. They're like, oh my God, he said it. He said illegal. And then to make less of her death, he goes, well, how many other Americans have been killed by illegals? I'm like, oh, you stupid man. Do you know what you're saying? And you're allowing this. But a euphemism that he used, and he didn't use it in the speech, but he has done it before. He's like, he was talking about welcoming the newcomers. I'm like, they're illegal aliens. He calls them newcomers. And then another euphemism that he used in his speech was, instead of saying abortion, because it just sounds so like lethal and like final, well, because it is, he called it reproductive health or women's health. And I'm like, oh my God, what if the person that is, what if the baby they're going to perform this abortion on is a woman? Does that woman's rights count or not until she's born? It's just frustrating. They're going to trap themselves because they're just making all these nonsense laws. And I am so frustrated about the squatter thing. How do you get out of that?
The United States government, as far as I am concerned, needs to get out of male and female reproductive rights.
Right.
Period. They need to get out of being concerned with reproductive rights. It's not something that Joe Biden, Chuck Schumer, Mitch McConnell, in his last few days as Senate Minority Leader, Mike Johnson as Speaker of the House, and his Republican leadership delegation. It's not anything they need to concern themselves. It's one of those deeply religious things that I have, and everybody knows I hate to talk religion because it always ends up with me getting into an argument with myself about it. But it is not something that Facebook or the Biden administration should get involved with. It shouldn't even be in the Constitution where it's regulated by the Supreme Court. It should be between the powers that be making a baby. Except for there are some illegal cases where we keep bringing up that, if a minor child was violated, for lack of putting it better, to appease the censors over at YouTube today, that needs to be resolved. I can't believe, and I'm among a small group of people that are actually speaking out about it on Facebook. I can't believe that anywhere there are adults saying a 12-year-old child needs to deliver this baby. And even going as far as, I know there are parents who have a child, for lack of putting it better, to get parts to save another child or to save someone else in the family. And
that's
not okay if it's seriously going to impact the child that you brought in to harvest all of these things. It's like, I have eye problems. And if someone said to me, we gave birth to a beautiful baby boy or girl and we're going to give you its right eye. No, absolutely not.
Right.
And if God came to me and said, you need to take this child's right eye, it would be no. I would rather go blind.
Well, that's good. Yeah, that's a scary thing.
I thought that was it is a scary thing.
I thought that was a movie. I didn't know this really happened. Wow, sure.
In some of the weird conservative circles that I go into, or maybe I stumbled into a Democrat group. I don't know.
You should stay out of those.
Something like that. Well, where something like that might be okay. Someone hit me in a message that they sent me recently that said, why do you allow the opposition? It's like, if it's clearly a Republican group of yours, why do you allow Democrats, independents, non-pledged politicals to come in and have a conversation? And then I replied to them, because if it was a group that has 500 conservative patriot Republicans and they all agree with each other, what's the point of having the group? Because there's never going to be anything accomplished.
Boring. Right. That's good.
But
right.
But fortunately, I don't get asked to be admins of Democrat groups.
Okay. I wonder why.
Yeah. So I don't worry about it.
I know, that's fine. That's great.
I don't worry about it. Unfortunately, the Great American Nation and the Hardcore Conservatives group were both deleted from Facebook a few days ago.
I see that.
The Great American Nation came back. It was here for 3 months. It only got about 70 members. And when it started originally here on Facebook for a long time, it had about 1,500 members, and it just wasn't growing. So Terry Starkin, who is the chief admin of that group, and I just kind of said it was time to let it go. And the Hardcore Conservatives group, which came back, and I don't even remember how many people it had in its first time around, was involved in some massive trauma that I've pledged people that I won't discuss with on Facebook. The relaunch only managed to bring back about 80 people, and actually none of them were the 234 people in the group that has disappeared from Facebook. So
Wow.
I do have the original shirt, which Jenn Woodruff did buy. It's a black medium t-shirt with the original.
I was gonna say, I think
with the original Great American Nation logo on it, and it will very quickly be put in an envelope and sent to Jenn.
That's okay.
Only because I can't wear it. It was a great looking vinyl logo that my wife Donna put together on a Cricut.
Awesome.
And I would have wore it all the time, but I'm going to send it back to Jenn Woodruff only because Jenn Woodruff did help design the beautiful what's the word I want? Bipartisan Boogie with the Bull white ceramic mug. If you hold it in your right hand, everyone knows you're just one of those wacko take over America and mess with us all forever. And if you're a communist, not a communist, if you're a conservative patriot like the rest of us and you enjoy drinking coffee out of a beautifully designed white ceramic mug. The bowl was designed by Randy Griesenbeck, who I don't believe is on Facebook anymore as Randy Griesenbeck. He's actually on as someone else, and he's not doing anything political from what I understand. The bowl was designed by him. We own the bowl. The words were placed where they are by Jenn. It is today and today only. If you order the mug today, it's $20 with free shipping. If you don't order the mug today, it's $10 for the cup, and it's $10 for shipping, or $20.
So no matter what you do, it's a good deal.
Right. I only had it done, and I keep saying it every time, because I like drinking coffee out of ceramic mugs more than I like drinking them out of travel mugs. So it was done for me. But if you want one, it's $20, and you can contact me and tell me that you want one. And if you have Venmo, you can Venmo me the $20, and I will let Jenn know, and she will order it. I believe it takes 3 weeks from the time it is ordered to get it to you, only because the nice vendor that makes them for us makes them one at a time, as opposed to making us order 10 million of them at a time and store them somewhere like Bill Muckler and wait for Amazon to send them back to us because we don't have room to store 10 million cups.
That's crazy. Do people know? Yeah. Do they know what you're talking? Do people know what you're talking about? Bill Muckler, he wrote this book, and he had millions of them. Yeah, awesome books, millions of them printed, and they're in the Amazon warehouse, and you could order them from Amazon. And then they realized these are patriotic, so they sent him boxes and everything back to him. And they said, we can't promote this anymore on our site. So that's why you have to go to the link that Dave told you about to find it, because Amazon will not support it.
I believe Bill said you can still order it from Amazon, but it's from somewhere that prints them up one at a time and sends them to you. I don't know if that's 100% true. I don't shop much on Amazon. I personally don't shop on Temu. My wife does and has only had one problem where an order did not arrive. And then did it finally arrive?
Yesterday.
It did finally arrive, but it was very late. And I don't agree with their policy that I guess if it's late, they give you a $5 coupon
to buy something else and
buy
hope that it comes
to buy something
on
else
time.
from them and hope. Well, the other orders that she had has come on time, and
that's good.
It's great stuff that she needs for her crocheting projects, and it's she appears to be very happy with what she gets from them when she gets them. The only problem I know with people that have used Temu is that they have ordered electronics. And the picture was a specific brand and a specific model of something. But if you read the fine print, it says, we reserve the right to send you something of equal quality. And that should be okay. The problem is if you're a techno geek like I am and you order a specific piece of equipment and you get something else that's not the exact specific piece of equipment you want, that's not okay. So I don't order from them.
I just buy crafts.
So my wife buys craft supplies from them.
For my business.
Right, for her business.
That's good.
And probably at a better price than if she could get them on Amazon. Which is important.
Right.
But that doesn't make any difference. So let's see. I had Bill Muckler on the list. We covered Bill. I covered the Lord's Prayer. If you see it in the Facebook news feed from a friend of yours, copy it. And the next time you see it from another friend of yours, share it and keep doing it. And
highly offensive.
And when the Lord's Prayer blows up the Facebook news feed, go ahead and do that. Anything else, Jen?
No, I think we covered everything.
I want to thank you very much for coming for Friday. And you are welcome to come on any one of the three, Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 10 a.m. But I know it's 8 a.m. your time. And Bill Muckler had said in the Red Room today, because it's Red Friday, he had said that kept reminding me that it was 8 o'clock your time, and then he said if it was 8 o'clock that he had to be here for a broadcast, he probably couldn't do it. And I said, well, I know I can't do it because I have an alarm that goes off at 8 o'clock in the morning for morning meds, and I've been known to still be in bed at 9:30 and haven't gotten out. And
no, it's okay.
We got good.
Strong
but anything else? Anything else you got?
No, I was like, thank God for strong coffee. It's okay.
Thank God for strong coffee.
We were up, so we had to pick up his parents at the airport because they just got back from Michigan. No. They got back from Florida. They were right around you. They were.
Do they live in Idaho?
Yeah, they moved to Idaho,
okay.
so they could be closer to us, so we could drive
as opposed to getting you guys to move to Florida so that you would be closer to them.
Wow. Yeah. No, they're just so happy that we're close, so we can drive them.
Make sure they have someone living in their Florida place.
Yeah.
Oh,
that is crazy. Did you hear about that? The squatters?
Yeah. He told. I saw it on his broadcast. That's the broadcast that, like I said, I felt like we're laughing so hard because 89-year-old retired Marine Captain Bill Muckler is looking into his camera with a big smile on his face, saying, "If they squatted my place, I'd have to go to Walmart and buy a baseball bat."
Oh my God!
and I could just imagine, I'm not going to call him a nice old man. I mean, he's a very nice guy. He is 89 years old, but I'm not going to say anything about him being old. But he's a retired Marine, and I would not want to be in the condo of a retired Marine captain with a baseball bat, regardless of how old they are.
Right, I know that was crazy.
All right, anything else?
No, I think we're good.
All right. Go have a great weekend. I couldn't remember, and I spoke about your son and daughter-in-law getting married, and I couldn't remember if it was the son who is designing the first manual transmission Crown Vic or not.
No. That's my second born. He's like
Oh.
he owns an ISP. He does his own.
He should finish that so that your son and daughter-in-law can paint just married and tie everything on, old iPads on the back and drive away with the get married car. But,
yeah.
I hope I know you're doing well because you're here this morning. I hope.
Thank you.
I hope everyone else is doing well. I hope Jesse's doing well.
And tell Donna I said hi. I saw her in the back. I'm like,
tell you hi. She saw you in the back.
Hi.
She said hi. She's working. She is working right now.
Awesome.
That's
great.
From sun up until sundown on a day off, she is crocheting, and we may go out and run errands so that she'll be able to crochet later. We will go out to lunch, and
that's fun.
if she could, she'll probably crochet through lunch.
Awesome.
And let's see, where is the craft fair tomorrow? Oh, she's counting.
It is on Route 220 in Fleming at the
that's right.
Church.
Route 220 in beautiful Fleming Island in the Silos Shopping Center, which is the little strip mall behind the BP on 220.
What is she crocheting?
Everything. Oh God. Well, I mean, unfortunately, things I have that she crocheted are patriotic things that she's not making for that show. But
any animal you want,
any animal you can think of.
Oh, that's awesome.
Triceratops, quadceratops, biceratops. Go to the craft show and buy ceratops.
Oh, teddy bears, bunnies,
jellyfish, geckos. Turtles.
How about bunnies for
axolotls? I can't say that word.
Oh,
axolotls.
What kind of yarn? What color yarn do you use for that?
She uses just about every color yarn you can think of. And
for the axolotl,
I guess she called some of the speckle yarns, which would be like a blue with yellow speckles in it. That's my favorite when I see her crocheting with that one. But I know that for geckos, she made a blue one that I believe has red eyes, but that was specially ordered, I believe.
Black with red
eyes. Black with red eyes. So I may because that's the Boogie with the bull colors, either red and black or black and red.
Oh, that's great.
I love it. One of those for the desk. Previous inception, she made the beautiful red, white, and blue pumpkin, which
oh my gosh, I love it.
Pumpkin. Show your octopus.
It is the pillow for that my headphones sit on my desk so that I don't knock them down. I'll show you the red, white, and blue octopus that she made. These can be made in any color for you. I don't know if you order them in red, white, and blue, but they can be made in any color. My favorite that I really needed to have yesterday, because the first half of the broadcast last night included many, but this doesn't have the red F on it like it should have.
F-bomb. I was gonna say I have a friend that makes these little F-bombs. Crochet. Yeah, that's crazy.
I would probably have to wear it around my neck and just go.
We'll throw it at you.
But yeah, so it is in the Silos Strip Mall Plaza behind the BP on 220.
We'll be at Jacksonville Beach.
They will be at Jacksonville Beach. What?
Seawalk Pavilion.
Seawalk Pavilion.
On
April 13th. And the week before that is April 6th. And I will be with Donna.
Fleming Island.
Fleming Island.
It's just their regular market. It's up on Town Center.
Up on Town Center Road behind all the big stores in Fleming Island. And that will be a lot of fun, I'm sure. Yeah. Anything else?
No, good luck. I hope you make a lot of sales. That's really
She will make a lot of sales. She'll make a lot of sales. If not, I'm going to have to go get a job.
No.
Or work for her, and because I'm family, I won't get paid, and no.
You're so fun. Okay,
Yeah.
well, you guys have a
Fun.
good weekend, and I hope
All
you have
right, you
fun at the
too.
craft. Okay,
All right, you ready?
all set. 3,
All
2,
right, 2, 1,
1.
boom. All right. Woodruff, the homeschooling mom. A lot of fun to have Jenn on. And I asked her last night if she would join us today because Bill Muckler asks me a lot, is Jenn Woodruff going to be there? So I thought I would bring her on. And to Nick Gurr, you did ask a question earlier if we're going to have questions and include them in the broadcast. And I don't know if it was a question for Bill or it was a question for Jenn or for or like you said, someone in the live chat answered it. I can't always keep my eyes on the live chat. I try to do my best, a lot better than other broadcasts, I think, because your comments and your questions are very important and always have been. But I will tell you the same thing we told Randy Rhodes. If your questions do not get answered in the live chat, regardless of who you ask them to, if it includes one of the people on the screen and they don't get answered a lot, that's your cue to come join the broadcast. That's what Randy had to do. When Michael Anthony and I were first doing broadcasts together, Randy Rhodes was watching and Randy would write paragraph, comments, questions, whatever, and then one day posted one very simple. If you're not going to answer my questions or read my comments, then why should I watch the broadcast? And Michael and I said, well, you shouldn't. You should join the broadcast. So, Nick, the offer is always on the table when we have guest panelists. You are more than welcome to join the broadcast. So if you want to, for morning caffeine, Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern, adjust your time accordingly. You have to let me know by 9 o'clock in the morning. So I make sure you get a link and you get written into the plan for the broadcast. And Tuesday, Thursday, night live, 7 p.m. Eastern on my profile and the Boogie with the Bull YouTube channel if we're still there. You need to let me know by 6 p.m. so that you get Eastern, so that you get written into the plan. The links generally go out somewhere between 30 and 45 minutes before the show. So that is generally 9:30 to 9:45. We ask that you be in the studio with us by 9:55 for morning caffeine. And we ask that you be in the studio about 6:50, 10 minutes of 7 for the Tuesday night and Thursday night live broadcast. To anybody who didn't get on this morning that hoped they would be able to get on, we apologize. There will be a rare Boogie with the Bull, a rare Saturday morning Boogie with the Bull will happen tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. and will be done no later than 12 p.m. if it goes that long. Anyone is welcome to join the broadcast. If you want to be on that broadcast, you got to let me know by 9 a.m. And the first 7 of you that tell me you want to be on the broadcast will get on. Number 8, we may have to shuffle the other ones around, but we've never had that problem. So we will close today's broadcast by saying, if you see the Lord's Prayer posted by any of your friends in your Facebook news feed, covered with that violent and or graphic censor from Facebook, my suggestion is you immediately go and share it back into the news feed from you, and you keep doing that all day long. I am not Catholic. We as Jews have a prayer that is almost the same thing with pretty much the same words. I think ours says, and though I walk through the valley of, I forget, I know that the Lord is with me. So do that. And to Al Alford, who said, messaged me this morning and asked if I had accepted Jesus as my Savior because he saw me resharing the post. Nothing's changed in that regard. What I'm doing is, it's a post that I don't believe Facebook has a right to censor like they did, and or tell you it can't be posted on Facebook. And, either they're going to change their mind on what can and can't be posted on Facebook and lighten up, or they're at some point going to kick me off because I tell you to post something they don't want you to post on Facebook. YouTube will probably kick us off YouTube because I'm sure they didn't like the response to the email that they got from me yesterday that said it is not a strike. It's a warning. It's not a warning that can be converted to a strike, but you gave medical misinformation on the Tuesday, March 19th Boogie with the Bull broadcast. And I'm sure it's because we said things about COVID that they don't agree with. And I will throw out the same challenge that I put in the letter. You want to find me some experts who say it is safe. We will find some experts who say it is not safe. We'll put you all on a Boogie with the Bull broadcast on YouTube and let people decide for themselves. Or what will happen is, because I again asked the YouTube legal department to look into this and confirm whether or not YouTube is a public forum or YouTube is a publisher, because if YouTube is a publisher, I personally will kill the Boogie with the Bull YouTube channel and remove it from YouTube and put it someplace else. Because a publisher has the right to decide what you can and can't do on their website. And we won't do that. Also, I read recently that Facebook is not going to allow third-party applications on pages, groups, or profiles sometime in the near future. I'm waiting for them to answer if StreamYard is considered a third-party application, because right now they call it a business integration, and it's integrated on the Boogie with the Bull page, although we don't use it there anymore. It's integrated on my profile, and it's integrated one other place on Facebook that I don't remember. The Boogie with the Bull group, although we don't send it there anymore either. If that happens and StreamYard is considered a banned third-party app, that means it's the end of Boogie with the Bull on Facebook, unless we still have YouTube and we can post it from YouTube. But if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't happen, then it doesn't happen. So until there's more information, we're here until they say we're not here anymore because we can't use StreamYard to do it. The option will be to use Facebook Live Producer, and which I probably won't do, because every time we use Facebook Live Producer, we set it properly the way they suggest we set it, and then we have nothing but problems with it. So we probably won't use it. Anyway, this is the part of the broadcast where I say you have been watching Boogie with the Bull Friday Morning Caffeine, a copyrighted presentation of the No Budget Broadcasting Company. Thank you for the privilege of letting us abuse your time. Nick Gurr, if you're interested in joining us on a broadcast tomorrow morning at 10 a.m., a rare Saturday morning Boogie with the Bull happens, let me know by 9 a.m. our time, Eastern time, and you can come join us. William Rayfield, if you want to join us, you're more than welcome. I'm sorry that we didn't get you on today. I didn't see Randy Rhodes around. David Moon, for some strange reason, David, I saw you in the live chat on my profile, but I didn't see you in the live chat on my profile on StreamYard. So I don't know what happened there, but nice to see you here this morning. But you're more than welcome to watch the broadcast. Everybody, please share the broadcast. I was actually able to, I think, get out about 20 shares today. Normally we only get out about 13. And so please watch. If you watch the broadcast, share the broadcast. And we will go from there. And so go out there, make it a wonderful day. I'm going to go have lunch with my wife and do some errands. And you'll see me tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock.